So guys, it is Sunday night and I came on here to do a quick Vinyasa yoga flow. It's for stress relief and tension and whatever you have going on in your mind, just come join me. I'm going to start with an open butterfly pose here and just close your eyes and focus on your breath work. You're going to slowly relax into this position. If you can't, just cross your legs Indian style and sit that way as well. And focus and reflect inward on your breathing. And when you breathe in and you breathe out, you're letting out any toxins or negativity in your life that you don't want. Breathe in and release. Releasing out the mouth and following the restriction on the back of your throat. Breathing in. And what this breath work is going to have you do is it's going to have you focus on the current moment. I'm going to put my legs out straight. I'm going to forward fold over them and bow over it. Do not pull forward. Just lay as you are, just in the current moment. Again, focusing on your breathing. And then I'm going to do a reverse plank. And just feel it. And then from here, I'm going to go into a all fours with your palms planted firmly on the ground. And I'm going to lift my head up and then tuck it under and do some cat and cows and just really warm up the upper back. And then you're going to thread the needle, lift your right hand toward the sky, tuck it under, and lay your head down. You can lift your left leg back to feel the extra stretch on your left side of your body. And then you're going to lift your left hand toward the sky, tuck it under, put your right leg out toward the back, and feel the twist in your lower back. And then you're going to go back to all fours. And again, you're just going to go back to some cat and cows. I'm going to stretch my left leg out and back and my right arm out in front. And I'm going to hold this here for a second and then hold it out to the side. And focus on building that inner core strength here. And while you're in these poses, you're going to focus on the present moment and realize that whatever happened in the past is in the past. And connect with your back left leg. And then slowly release. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Lift your left arm out in front, your right arm out toward the side, toward the back. And then hold it here. Again, focusing inward on being present. And then out toward the side. And then connect in the back. And just feel the tension, feel the core working. And then back to all fours. We're going to do a bear pose, but this time we're going to leave the top of our feet down. We're going to firmly plant our hands on the ground and we're going to lift upward. This is going to build our upper arm shoulder strength. And we're going to focus on right here, right now, and then release. And then we're going to do a regular bear pose where we tuck our toes under and lift your knees up from the ground and back down. And then to a child's pose, making your forehead touch the ground, being present with here and now. There's something to be said about being present with here and now. And what's to be said about it is that meeting yourself here and now is telling you what you need right here and now. It's not telling you what you needed in the past or what you needed in the future or what you need in the future. It's telling you what benefits you right here and right now. So I'm going to go do some side bends to the right, center pose, side bend to the left, and just feel that side stretch. And then I'm going to clasp my hands behind my back, mini back bend, forward fold, and then I'm going to twist my right hand toward the sky, gaze follows, And then my left hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And then I'm going to walk it out into a plank pose, and I'm going to hold it here for a moment. So when you meet your body exactly where it needs to be met, you take care of your present needs. And yoga does exactly that. It meets you where you want to be or where you need to be. And I think so many people forget that being present is so vital in today's world. From here, we're going to step our hands on either side of our arms, and we're going to do a low lunge here, moving side to side to release any toxins that are in between our legs. Sometimes toxins and emotions can build up in the lower part of our legs, and this helps release it. From here, I'm going to do a forward fold, half lift, and I'm going to stand tall and do my side bends here. And then I'm going to clasp my hands behind my back, mini back bend, forward fold. It's more of a wide leg fold, and then twist to the right, twist to the left, and then Vinyasa. And then back to downward dog. Feel yourself releasing all that negativity in your life. And walk your hands to the back, half lift, forward fold into chair pose. Your tailbone's tucked under, arms are out in front of you, feeling like you're almost going to sit in the chair. Just hold this here to bring more self-awareness to where you are. The great thing also about yoga is that yoga takes with intention what your mind is thinking and how your mind can bubble to the surface what you're thinking about, and how it doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things or the big picture of things. What truly matters is you're here, you're alive, you're breathing, you have life, and you're here now. And that's what matters. Stand tall, forward fold. And then from here, I'm just going to go to a downward dog. You can go to a vinyasa if you want to. And from here, I'm going to lift my right leg high. I'm going to tuck it under, fallen star. With my left hand toward the sky, gaze follows. And then put it back down. Lift your right leg toward the sky. And then I'm going to go into a warrior one. And then put your right elbow your right elbow on your right knee. Put your left hand overhead like a swim stroke. And then you're going to hold it here for a second. And then we're going to connect our hand underneath and do a birds of paradise where you walk your left foot up to your right. And then lift that right leg up to the sky. And then release, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Now, if you can't get to that, you can just do the bind. Left leg up, fallen star, gaze follows. You know, when I look up at the sky, I'm almost reminded that we forget sometimes how many stars are in the sky and what is out there and how many opportunities or chances we have in life to do something if we're not happy in our current situation, if we're not happy where we are with our life. And so many people want to be upset, but nobody says you can't change or take a different shot at something new. Back to the birds of paradise on the left side. And then release. And then back to the downward dog. Nobody says, and I'm going to go to all fours real quick and back to a seat. Nobody says in life that you have to be complacent. Nobody says that you have to be exactly where you are all the time and that's where you are forever. We change, we grow, we challenge ourselves, and we want to be, fulfilling our purpose. And if we haven't figured it yet, we might not be content with where we are. So I'm going to do an inversion. Basically, you're going to do whatever inversion is comfortable in your body that it's calling you to today. If that's a handstand, a headstand, a tripod, any of that. Inverting your body is really good to reverse the blood flow and is something that a lot of people forget about. So I'm going to do another inversion again. Make sure you're challenging yourself with whatever it is and you're thinking about all the different options. And then back to a seat, or you can keep doing whatever inversion you were doing if it's calling your body. And then from here, I'm going to go to downward dog. Lift your right leg up. And then half pigeon in front. Lean over the half pigeon pose. And then just hold it here for a second so you can feel the stretch in your thigh and hip area. A lot of times we carry emotion and tension in our hips, and for years it'll go without getting released and it can manifest as something else. And it's very essential to really express those emotions that we have stored inside. If we don't express emotions and we go through life thinking that it's acceptable, we're going to go to a crescent lunge from here. Right foot forward. And then from here, pyramid pose over your right leg. And then revolve, reverse, half moon. Your left hand toward on the ground, your right hand toward the sky. Try to gaze, follow toward the right hand. And then we're going to lift up, cross our left leg over our right leg, our right knee, and twist to the right, temple dancer. And then I'm going to grab my left foot, reach it out in front to the side, Padangusthasana B. And then I'm going to hold it here for a moment, challenge yourself. Your leg will be shaking. Then I'm going to reach behind, grab my left foot, and lean forward. Dancer pose. And then Vinyasa. So as you're going through the yoga flow, you should be able to tell that your mind and your body are connected. And when we're in these movements, we realize that whatever we were stressed about, maybe that's not a problem anymore. And maybe our body is realizing that we're releasing whatever stress or tension we have to be right here, right now with ourselves, with our body. And, it's interesting how it works. But again, sometimes we go through life and we're just going through the motions and we don't really realize what is truly important at that moment for what our needs. So being self-aware and cognizant of certain things is essential. And again, with that Padangusthasana B, and then the dancer pose, and then Vinyasa. Yeah, we essentially can forget. And from here, I'm going to go to a frog pose. So I'm going to spread my legs wide, lean over, and only go as far as your body allows you to. Now, this is going to stretch out your hip area again, which is where I said, tension is stored. So we go through life and we have these robotic moments where we feel like we're just there. We're not there for anything else except to be there and do the thing. But if the thing is not really meeting what we necessarily want out of life or what we necessarily feel called to do in life, it can be very challenging. So, you know, I always say meditate and pray about it to see if you're in the right place, the right time, and know that, you know, there are options, and sometimes you have to look within yourself and be self-aware of what your mind is calling you to. So while you're in this straddle frog pose, you know, and hopefully you can get deeper into it if you cannot go fully, you know, forehead to ground. And if you can't, no worries. Just focus on how you're grounded with the earth and how you're here in the present. Focusing on this is so vital to knowing how you work and how you think and how right now feels to you. And then from here, I'm going to go into deer pose. So I'm going to cross my right leg in. My left leg is behind me, and I'm leaning over my legs. Obviously, you'll only be able to go down as far as your body allows you. And just whatever side is calling you to lean toward that side. That's probably where you need it the most. Now, you know, sink through or go down into, melt into the pose that you are in, and think about it. And just think about how deep you are in working through whatever your body is telling you not to. Now, obviously, if it hurts, don't do it. So while you're here, you're thinking about how you're releasing the hip tension. And then we're going to sit up and we're going to do deer pose on the other side. So we're going to bend our left leg in, our right leg is going to go behind us, and we're going to lean over on this side. Obviously, each side is going to feel incredibly different than the other. So just take it at face value and go as deep as this side allows you to, stretching out your hip on your left side. I love how intentional this pose is with opening up your hip and really making it release the tension there. And then we're going to lean back up, and from here, I'm going to do a broken wing pose. So just to show you, well, first I'm going to do some upper back stuff real quick while we're in this position, where you're going to be on your stomach. You're going to lift your arms up like Superman and then back down. And then if you can connect to your feet in the back, that works as well for building upper body strength, floor bow. And it's really going to strengthen your upper body. If you have problems when you're sitting at the desk, you're hunched over all the time, this really helps with that. So just hold this pose as long as you can. And we're going to release and do it again. Release. And then we're going to lift up and do it again. Okay, now broken wing, you're going to lean your right arm out, palm side down, and then you're going to twist over your right arm. Now this is going to be a shoulder stretch, so it's going to feel quite weird. You're going to use your foot as a kickstand, and do not go over more than your body is allowing you to. In this pose, you're basically cutting off the blood supply to the right arm, so that when you release, the blood supply is going to be fully come back with new blood. It's amazing for the shoulder blade, because if you're experiencing inflammation or tension, it helps, send new blood to work toward that area. Now you have to be patient with yourself. It's not going to be quick. Just make sure you're releasing anything in your body that your body doesn't want or need, any negativity. And that way, when it comes time for you to go out into the world, you're not releasing those toxins into the world. Instead, you're releasing the love and kindness. Because when you're full of all these toxins and negativity, you cannot release kindness into the world. You release what you have not got rid of in your body and mind. Now we're going to roll over and we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to reach our left arm out, roll over to do broken wing on your left arm. And your lower back will crack. Mine just cracked. And you're using that other leg as a kickstand. Now it's going to feel awkward at first because each side feels different. And while you're here, just going to wait for your body to do its work. And while you're here, you're just thinking about how releasing all these toxins is so good. All right, and then I'm going to roll back over and I'm going to come forward to a seat. And this concludes my yoga practice for this evening. Thank you for joining me. If you join me live or you're joining me later on, I really appreciate it. Remember to live your day with kindness and go out into the world and live your life. Namaste.